Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another very special, as always, episode of the Hyperconscious Podcast. Today, we are lucky enough to sit down with Julian Nguyen. Julian Nguyen is a multiple world-time Muay Thai champion and the owner of Team Link Muay Thai in Worcester.
Yes, he is. This episode was awesome. I'm going to read this quick bio here. Team Link Muay Thai is the #1 Muay Thai / kickboxing gym in the greater Worcester area. We are dedicated to empowering our community by teaching men, women, and children of all ages what their minds and bodies are capable of through the most fun, dynamic, and professional level training available. When we walked into that gym, we recorded it actually in the gym right in front of the ring. The whole community is very, very supportive and uplifting.
Yeah, everybody in there was coming up to us, trying to figure out what we were doing, asking us questions, asking us where they could find the episode. And the way the gym is, the way it's set up is because Julian and who he is as a person. He is that kind of person. Martial arts, Muay Thai, all of those things, it's not just about being physical. A lot of it's about building confidence.
Self-discipline.
And learning how to empower yourself.
Honestly, when he put the gloves on, because Kevin and I stayed a little later after the podcast, that was him within his element. As soon as the gloves came on, all of a sudden he was like this super powerful thing. I was like, oh, wow. So there's so much more that goes into each craft than anyone ever realizes until you get in the ring. This is an opportunity to be a fly on the wall and dissect a world champion's mindset. Most humble, nicest guy, unbelievable rep.
Unbelievable rep. You guys will definitely learn a lot, and we hope you enjoy it.
Talk to you soon.
Bye. No. Geographically? Geographically. This is cool. So I would say make sure that pretty face is showing.
Yes, true.
They're going to want to see that fucking thing. They're going to want to see that fucking thing, Alan. That fucking face. You good? Ready? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another very special, as always, episode of the Hyperconscious Podcast. For those on YouTube, you can see that we are in a gym of sorts. We're in a Muay Thai gym. We are in Team Link Muay Thai in Worcester with the wonderful Julian Nguyen. You are owner?
I am.
Of this beautiful gym?
Yes.
You are a savage. You're a multiple-time world champion Muay Thai fighter. And being here, I was telling Alan, this is right up my alley, being able to interview somebody with your skills, with your mindset, just in general. I like being in this space. And I'm super happy and super grateful that you invited us in, and I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, no, thank you guys so much for having me.
Absolutely.
I'm excited.
I want to get into the mindset behind what made you want to fight. What was your childhood like? Was there one thing in particular, one experience that you had that maybe, George St. Pierre, for instance, used to get bullied all the time. Yeah. And that was what started his career, basically. He wanted to be able to fight back. Yeah. Did you have something similar, or?
Well, I've always been involved I've always had a passion for martial arts for as long as I could remember, since I was a kid, Have a couple street fights, and...
Just talk right into it.
Yeah.
You don't have to look at me, don't worry.
Yeah, no worries.
Closer, there we go.
No worries.
And you can look at Kevin now that the mic's in front. Yeah.
Couple street fights here and there, but just the feeling of really wanting to test yourself is what really got me into fighting. Yeah.
When was your first, amateur or, I guess, organized fight?
Yes, so my first amateur fight or organized fight was in 2011. Yeah, it's called the Smoker.
Yep.
Are you familiar with Smokers? Yeah. So
for those who don't know, it's kind of like a not super formal, kind of like an informal get together where a bunch of people fight, and that's kind of how the sports kind of started. Like MMA, that was people were doing smokers, and then it eventually got the clearance to get into actual arenas, and that's how that ended up. But
yeah, exactly, and that's how you gain experience. So yeah.
So was Muay Thai, was fighting, was that your dream? When you were younger, was that the thing that you really, really wanted to accomplish? Did you see yourself as the best Muay Thai fighter?
So I studied a couple different styles when I was younger and didn't really get into Muay Thai until one of my buddies introduced me to it. He was fighting MMA, and he asked me to help him get ready for a fight, help him train, and then that was when I was introduced to Muay Thai and fell in love with the sport then. And that was back in 2009.
So 9 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Alan, I know you have a whole bunch of questions we were talking about during the preamble.
For sure.
Jump on in.
Yeah, so we're always trying to dissect sort of the mindset behind what it takes to be the best at anything at a professional level. So you've obviously competed at the highest levels in this particular sport. You're 9 years in. What do you think if you could kind of look back, hindsight's 2020, and think to yourself like, okay, what did I need to do in order to prepare myself to become world class? Like, what are some of the key factors in that? I know we talked in the preamble about failing forward, how losing fights, you need to make adjustments each time. Yeah. What can you talk about with that in terms of your failures, and like failures as in like fights you've lost, and then what you take from that? Yeah.
All right. So to answer your first question there, what does it take? I mean, it takes mental toughness. You know, first of all, you got to know what you want.
Yeah.
Right. And then you work like hell toward it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's cliche. I'm sorry. I know.
No.
But you work like hell toward it. You do everything you can, and you continually challenge yourself.
Yeah.
You seek out challenges. You know, and I know we talked a little bit about before. I know you're a competitor yourself.
Oh yeah.
In the bodybuilding world.
Yep.
So I think it's wonderful that you compete, and you understand that mentality.
Yeah.
Of challenging yourself and competing against others who are working just as hard.
Yeah.
To do the same thing.
Yeah.
So it's just when I began fighting as an amateur, I would constantly seek out challenges and tough fights.
In terms of other fighters, like you would always want to fight people better than you, or that might be better than you.
And train with people better than you.
Yeah, so that you can get better.
You do it in both, exactly. So you level up.
Exactly.
There are so many facets and levels to the game.
Yeah.
In any sport.
In any sport. Yeah.
So for sure.
Awesome.
So constantly challenging yourself, seeking out tough challenges, and adjusting and improving from it.
Love it.
Like what can I do better here?
Yeah.
What adjustments can I make with my diet, my nutrition, cutting weight, strength and conditioning.
Yeah.
Technical wise, things like that.
Love it.
Yeah.
We were talking, so I told you and then Coach Mark, who actually originally I met and then I ended up coming and training with you guys. But I told him that in my group of friends, I am kind of the guy who knows everything about combat sports. Like I know how to box, I know how to throw kicks, I know how to do some things, right? Yeah. Not nearly as good as you, but in my group of friends, I'm the top. Yeah. When I walked into here, I was the very bottom. And that's the important thing. The important thing is, like you just said, you want to train with people better than you. Yeah. You want to learn from people better than you. You want to take experiences from people better than you. And we were saying how like some people just come into the gym so they can look good in the gym, and you have to make sure that the effort you're putting in is in direct correlation to what you want. You want to be the best fighter you can be. You're putting yourself in rooms with people that are far better than you.
Absolutely.
How do you get that mentality where it's like, oh, I know. And for people that are listening, like if you're not, say you and I are sparring, and you're far better than me, you're going to take it easy, I'm sure. Like you're not going to try to kill me.
No.
But you're still going to be far, far, far better than me. The mentality.
And that's okay.
Right.
Because, and I appreciate what you're saying, but the way I don't look at you when you come into the gym as the bottom. You know, we're all equal here. And there are things that if we were sparring that I can learn from as well. Because although you may be working on the basics or fundamentals, and I'm always working on the basics and fundamentals, I can play around and work different techniques that I don't normally do, or I can switch up my stance, you know what I mean? Or just work on different combinations that I don't normally do. So there's always something for me as a fighter to learn.
How do you get out of that comfort zone? Like out of the comfort zone of, a lot of people are afraid to do things that make them uncomfortable. And I always tell Alan, like, this is different. Yeah. Like if you can get knocked out here, you can get hurt here. So this is like an extreme example of fear chasing. Yeah. What would you say if somebody came up to you and said, Julian, I have a dream of of opening my own gym.
Yeah.
But I'm so afraid. What if it fails? What if I don't get the funding? What if I don't get the location?
Yeah.
How do you get over certain fears?
Yeah.
How do you chase those fears?
And I can tell you that from experience.
I love it,
'cause
man.
That I've been through that, and to get over fear, which is a very natural emotion for anybody, anything in life, is just to do it. Just do it. But you have to, obviously, for example, if you're looking to jump into business or something, obviously, you want to, don't do it recklessly.
Yeah.
Right? You want to calculate or set aside
talk a little louder.
Yeah, you want to set aside funds or something because, like I took the leap from quitting a very secure 9-to-6 job, benefits, insurance, everything, a secure paycheck, to co-owning a gym with my business partners. So it's calculating the risks and taking that final step and just doing it.
Was it worth it?
Absolutely. Man. It's
Ah, yes.
just the pleasure and joy and the feeling of fulfillment. Regret is one of the biggest motivators for me. Regret and fear. Because I don't want to be 100 years old and look back and be like, man, I could have did this or I could have did that. Why not do it now and then adjust as we go on? You know what I mean?
I love that, man.
Yeah.
I love that.
People that come to me or, hey, I have a dream of fighting. Do it then, man. Don't let your fears hold you back.
Kevin's a perfect example of that. I think that this is one of your passions for sure. And
absolutely.
I think that we kind of were talking already in the preamble about you coming back to this gym and starting to fight. I think that's awesome. One of the things we talk about on this podcast a lot is lifestyle design.
Yes.
So find your passions, what you love, and then design your life around that.
Yeah.
Whatever fulfills you. You mentioned fulfillment.
Yes.
You've literally done that. So 9 years ago,
Yes.
realized that Muay Thai is something you fell in love with.
Yeah.
And then now you own a Muay Thai gym.
Yeah.
That's the definition of lifestyle design. You've designed your life around, and now your wife trains.
Yes.
And it's
Yeah.
a whole thing. So,
Yeah.
9 years, it's real easy to you see where you were versus where you are now. How did you get from I love Muay Thai to where you are now, which is my whole life revolves around it, kind of?
Yeah. Okay, so when I began fighting, I was still working full time.
Yeah. Where?
I was working at Bank of New York out in Westboro.
Okay, cool.
So I was doing financial investment accounting and
Okay.
financial reporting.
Nice.
Yeah, so it was just like an office cubicle job,
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I loved the people. I learned so much from it in the finance industry, but that feeling when you feel, you're lacking something or you're just not fulfilled.
Oh, yeah.
Because training and Muay Thai was something that I always did on the side. Martial arts was something on the side. I would spend my morning hours before work training, doing road work or strength and conditioning.
Yeah.
Then my evening hours just working on the bag, because starting out at the time, I had coaches that were from the Boston area, so I'd only see them once or twice a week. So I spent a lot of time in solitude, just like you, working on a single heavy bag, a mirror, shadow boxing, just focusing on my technique. And then I took 1 or 2 fights like that, but then I realized, all right, if I want to take it to the next level, I got to do something different. I got to start training full time. I got to start training with the team, and it's funny, when you go to take the leap, things come together.
Yeah.
It's you can call it grace, a miracle, but people, the community, the support is just amazing, and the connections with me, even meeting my coach here now, Ibere Hayes,
Yeah.
was just amazing, because starting off, a little backstory,
Yeah.
I would study YouTube videos of fighters. I'm sure you
Absolutely.
you enjoy doing that, And one of my favorite fighters was Muay Thai fighters is Cosmo Alexander. He still is one of my favorites, and Cosmo is one of the top 10, one of the best Muay Thai fighters in the world. He's still fighting today, and out of all places, I was at World Gym, shadow boxing. And a guy comes up to me, he goes, "Hey, do you know who Cosmo is?" And I said, "Cosmo Alexander?" He says, "Yeah." I said, yeah, of course, man. Who doesn't know who he is? And he goes, he's in Worcester right now. And I said, what the hell? Out of all places, Worcester. And he turns out he's friends or training partners with my coach now.
Nice.
And that's how I met him, and we began, working together, and it's been nonstop ever since.
So you're working with one of your heroes now. At one point was just a hero of yours, someone you looked up to, learned from on YouTube, and now you know him personally?
Well, he's friends with
One of your coaches.
with my coach now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
He's
awesome,
personal
man.
friends. They grew up, they trained together in Brazil, and
Nice.
yeah, and they're still good friends. And he came to visit just recently, and
Small world.
yeah,
Right?
yeah, I know. It's crazy how that
And
happened.
it's
how it
funny
came about.
because everybody, like people say everything happens for a reason, right?
Yeah.
Maybe, so that happened, that all happened, but if you didn't have the balls to say, well, all right, I'm going to go see this person.
Yeah.
You have to take action.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Like, if
yeah.
you don't take action, nothing is going to happen.
Yes.
So
Exactly.
that's the moment of fear. So for me, Mark came up to me in the gym, said, hey, man, you look like you got some good hands. You should come train with us. Everything in me was like, oh, you don't want to do that. That is going to be scary. That's going to be super scary. So I literally went from the gym home to change, and then I came here. I forced myself to do it. I left here saying, oh, I need to figure out a way to do this every day.
Yeah.
Every day. Then what happened? I didn't come back for a couple months,
Yep.
and now I'm terrified again. And it's like, it's this constant struggle between realizing you have these fears, but realizing like they're dumb. Like the fear of judgment, or the fear of
Yeah.
lack of skill, or whatever it is. Again, you got 90 years, like you said, or 100 years. You're going to live to 100, so good for you. If you really want something, you got to find a way to believe that you can get it.
Yes.
Because if you don't believe you can get it, you're never. Imagine if you said, "Hey, do you want to go jump in that ring with me?" And I didn't believe that I was going to be okay,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
I would never do it. So we were talking earlier about confidence versus arrogance.
Yes.
How do you walk that fine line, especially in a sport where confidence is so important?
Yeah.
How do you walk the fine line between saying, I know I can beat this guy, but I also know I have to train like I can't beat this guy?
Ooh.
You know?
Ooh, that's a good question.
That one hit me in the field. Yeah. After my recent
Yeah, and
fourth
for
place.
people who know,
Yeah.
for people who are listening, Alan had a experience where he went in a little confident,
Yeah,
a little too confident,
overly confident,
and
yeah.
he paid for it with losing.
Yeah.
So it's like in your sport, if you go in too confident, you're not getting a fourth place trophy, you're getting a kick in the head.
Yeah. What's your take on arrogance versus confidence? Because that's the way you articulated that is amazing.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, no, very, very true. And arrogance, you'll find out the hard way, but confidence, I believe you got to be confident in yourself. That's such an amazing trait to have. It's something that sometimes I struggle with as well. But how do I want to word this? I don't see you as arrogant. I see you as, you want to go into your competition confident, but continue to make adjustments, work hard, do everything you can with what you have
Yeah.
to realize your dream or realize that goal. Does that
Thank
make
you.
sense?
I
Yeah,
really
yeah.
appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah. I see arrogance as like looking down on others or
Yeah.
being a show off or showboating. Like that's something that I stay away from. I don't respect any of that. My biggest heroes or fighters that I look up to are you wouldn't even know they were fighters. Just by talking to them, they're so cool, humble, joke around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like no intimidation. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's. To me, humility never goes out of style.
I agree,
Oh,
man.
that's a great
Yeah.
quote.
I
right
agree.
There.
It's one thing. Being having humility, being humble.
Yeah.
That's something that you should just always have in your pocket. Like no matter where you go, it should just always be there.
Yeah.
Because maybe you do make it big. Maybe you become the best Muay Thai fighter in the world. But there's always that piece of you that started.
Yes.
There's always that part of your heart, the part of your personality, that part of your soul that didn't know anything about this.
Exactly.
And you gotta hold on to that
And always something to learn.
for sure.
Yeah.
I love
always
that.
a student. No matter what, you're
yeah.
always a student.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You went to Thailand, right? I saw that you went to
did.
Thailand and trained at one of the most famous Muay Thai gyms in the world.
Yes.
How was
yeah.
that?
Oh man, it was amazing. My first trip I've been to Thailand 3 times.
Okay.
And my first trip, and this was my first trip overseas as well, to Asia, back in 2013, was I went to compete in the World Tournament for Team USA after only having 2 smokers under me. Yeah,
Wow.
competing in the World Tournament.
Talk about fear chasing.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
Just, I remember, like...
Whole new world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just your heart thumping, nerves going, sweats. But I wanted to do it, and going there, competing over there, I lost. I lost on points, but I mean, just the experience was just life-changing. The perspective, the culture, the people, just seeing different walk of life just really opened me up. And when I came back, I loved it so much. I was still working at the time. I put in my 2 weeks, literally a month or 2 months after I had come back from that trip. I said, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do full time. I doubted myself. If you feel that fear, you're scared. You have a secure job, and I talked with my wife, and she supported me. That type of support. I talked with her, and she's like, you love this so much, just go do it.
Yeah.
I was hesitant. I doubted myself, and she really helped me put that in perspective too.
I can tell that means the world to you.
It does.
The way you're saying it right now and just the way your face lit up.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want the listeners to really take away this. We say this all the time. Getting into bigger and better arenas is going to open your mind. And you had the confidence and the courage to go into an arena that is way beyond your current comfort zone at that time, back in 2013, after only 2 smoker fights. And then you came home forever different.
Yes.
So if you didn't have the courage to go, you would not be where you are today.
Man, you're right.
That's the stuff I like to dissect and bring to the listeners, because if there's something that you want to go do, that your heart is saying, go do this, maybe talk to your wife or your husband or your friend and say, listen, this is something I've been thinking about. I'm scared, but I got to do it anyway because it's going to change me forever for the better. And now here we are 8 years later from 2013, and you own a gym, and you're now a 3-time world champion. 4-time?
Two-time.
2-time. Okay, 2-time world champion. My apologies.
Future 3-time.
Future 4-time, maybe.
Yes.
But you're so happy and fulfilled now, and if you didn't go and fear chase, as we say, back in 2013, then this wouldn't be real.
Yes.
You wouldn't even be on this podcast right now. I think that's crazy when you think about it.
Again, so we podcasted yesterday with a woman who had a dream to have her own event planning service.
Yes.
The building, the room that we were in, she envisioned. She actually envisioned.
Yeah.
The same way I'm sure you envisioned this.
Wow. Yeah.
This, at one point, as Alan would say, Alan loves saying this, at one point, this room, this gym, this ring, these bags were all a dream. They were all a vision.
Yes.
Now, that is your reality.
Yes.
Can you tell the listeners what that's like? It's so hard to, you know what I mean? to how do you even form words around that? The fact that one time this was in your brain, and now this is your life. Every day you can come here and do whatever you want.
You're living your dream, literally.
Thank you.
What is that like? What was the journey? Because obviously, me saying it like that makes it sound like it's easy. Quit your job and you'll have a gym.
Yeah.
That's not the case, obviously.
The genie magic wand.
How was that for you from the 2 months afterwards to when you said, you know what, I'm out of corporate America. I'm not doing this. I want this. What was the journey like? What were the ups and downs? What were the hard times? You're like, oh, I don't know. If I think I might have fucked up. I might have made a mistake.
Yeah.
What was that journey like to where we are now?
Okay, so in 2013, I was getting ready to open my own gym, looking for different locations.
Nice.
I talked with my coach at the time. I was like, hey, how much is the cost of bags? How much is a ring? And then he came to me and we worked out. He said, hey, why don't we work together? And we partnered up, and the rest is history.
Back in 2013?
Back in 2013, we partnered
Wow.
up, and
You went from vision to fruition fast.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
I can honestly say that the reality is better than what I imagined at the time. What it is now is better than what I imagined at the time. So, taking that leap, getting out of your comfort zone, has been the most fulfilling thing. It's just that joy and pleasure of living your life the way that you want.
Yeah.
Because I love training. I enjoy training,
Yeah.
Meditating and doing your own thing and
Yeah. Living life on your own terms.
living life on your own terms. Yeah.
Love it.
So it's
And the team environment too. That must
Yeah.
be so awesome. It was so good here.
Yeah.
When we first got here, everyone was like trying to come
Yeah,
meet us. It
yeah.
was so awesome.
That's one thing that,
community is just
Yeah, the
amazing.
community is
and
so
that
good.
says a lot about you. I've met 2 or 3 fighters from this gym. Michael,
Triana.
Triana, yeah.
Yes.
He might be the nicest person I've ever met in my entire life. Such a nice guy.
Yeah.
But that says a lot about you. That says a lot about you and how you coach and how you run this. And people respect Mark. Mark is just a nice guy who came up to me and said, "Hey, man, you want to come by? Feel free. No pressure.
Yeah.
You could, I'll take you off to the side. I'll show
Yeah.
you some stuff." What is it like for you to stay true to yourself and have a gym that, there's nobody here that wants to hurt you. Everything's positive.
Yes.
What is that like for you to have such a good group of people around you that clearly follow your lead because you lead by example?
How do I feel about it?
Yeah.
I'm
And why is that so important to
I'm
you?
so happy about it. It's like I said, it's better than I could have imagined. Just the community here, the city of Worcester, everyone here at the gym, all the coaches. It's just they're so supportive, and it's an overall happy feeling. I'm happy about it. I'm happy.
Was that your vision? Your vision was when you come in here, you get on the mat, you bow, that's respect. Everything here is about respect.
Yes.
When you're outside of this place, you carry yourself with the same amount of respect you do while you're in here.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, my vision was to help share my passion with my community. I'm very passionate about martial arts. I believe it's the best thing for everybody, but at the same time, I know that's only one fitness modality.
Yeah.
There are many
Ooh,
different
I love that word.
bodybuilding,
Yeah.
CrossFit, yoga,
Yep.
sports. There's many different fitness modalities, and in business, you want to be able to solve a problem. And one of the problems now, or back then and still is the lack of fitness, or the growing obesity
Oh, yeah, for
epidemic.
sure.
I know you've written something about that.
Absolutely.
That I agree wholeheartedly with.
Very
you.
passionate about health and fitness.
So one of my things is sharing my passion of martial arts with my community, with everyone that I love, my friends, my family, my wife, and surround myself with it. So that it becomes my life. And I carry those same values everywhere I go, whether I'm on the street, whether I'm in another country, of just that love, that happiness, that joy, that same passion, and share it with everyone around me.
You can feel it, man.
Yeah,
When you pulled
can.
up,
Thank you.
it
Thank you.
just felt warm. Like I said earlier, you can feel when somebody's genuine.
Yeah.
Likewise, and absolutely, I feel like I know you guys
Right.
for years. now.
Right? Isn't that strange?
It
Yeah.
is.
And
It's awesome.
it's like this a lot of the time. We sit down with people. It's like there is literally not a question I wouldn't ask you right now. I feel so comfortable
Yeah.
in this scenario.
Yeah.
It's great, man.
Like attracts like.
Right.
Yeah,
Kevin.
exactly.
Absolutely, and like-minded people attract like-minded people.
Right on.
Whether it's, even though, we may have different goals, but the ultimate goal is to be happy
Yeah.
And fulfilled.
and fulfill.
Chase
And
our
spread
dreams.
happiness.
Yeah, and
Yes.
spread good vibes.
Yeah,
I told
yeah.
Kevin on the way here, I said he's the most humble, nicest guy ever. You're going to love it. Like, I told him I get such positive vibes from you, and like just really good energy.
Thank you.
Yeah, I really
Thank
do.
you.
You're all smiles.
Right?
Like everybody in this gym is like that too, because you're here and everybody's like attracts like you said.
Thank you.
It's huge, man. It's huge. So you mentioned a bunch of different fitness modalities. You
Yes.
mentioned being passionate about health and fitness and spreading that
Yes.
to everyone else, especially with the obesity struggles that people have.
Yeah.
I always say this: happy and healthy people don't want to hurt anyone. So if we can get everyone happy, healthy, and productive, then we're going to have a better world.
Yes.
And I think that doing that around our passions is such a gift, and I think it's awesome that you're doing that.
Yeah.
One of the things I wanted to say about the different fitness modalities is they all take a ton of self-discipline.
Yes.
And I think that self-discipline is what fills us up with self-esteem in order to then help others. What's your take on that? The self-discipline part of martial arts,
Yes.
is that one of the things that you love the most about it?
Yes.
Okay.
No. Absolutely. Discipline is. You gotta have discipline in any area of your life, whether it's martial arts, your finances, business, entrepreneurship,
Relationships.
Yeah,
To throw that one in there.
Yeah.
What does self-discipline mean to you, like you personally? What's your definition of self-discipline? Because I get a lot of varied on this, and I'm curious because you're obviously extremely disciplined.
Yeah.
You have to be at your level.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely. But yet your energy is still so positive and like kind of go with the flow-ish,
Yes,
right? So you have a
yeah.
good balance going.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, we got to be positive, and we need more people in the world like you guys.
I appreciate that,
because-
man.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I love the message you guys put out.
Oh, thank you.
I follow your content, and I it's like you guys are reading my mind, everything you're posting, because this is what our community, what our friends and family need to see. They need to hear these things, because there's so much negativity in the world.
Yeah.
You turn on the news.
The
and,
news.
You see
Yeah.
all this shit going on in the
I
world,
know.
and it's depressing, man.
I know.
It's depressing. It honestly depresses me when I watch the news.
Same.
So I stay informed,
Yeah.
but I don't get sucked into it.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to spread the positive vibe.
Yeah, man.
But back to discipline.
Yeah.
We got to stay disciplined. My definition of discipline is, I don't want to say forcing yourself, but I mean just having the right habits.
Yeah.
Just having the proper habits, or developing empowering habits.
Love it. Meditation you mentioned. It would be one of those.
Yeah, definitely. And it doesn't have to be like 3 hours of sitting on a mountain or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It could
exactly.
be just 5 minutes on your own, and that's one of my favorite things to do, is just take time to just be with yourself, and just, as soon as you get up first thing in the morning, is meditate, because your brain's operating at a theta or alpha state. I may be going into like a
No,
I
hammer
love
it.
it. I've
Hammer
heard
it.
it.
might
I
be
love
going into
this stuff.
something
Yes.
crazy now.
Dig it. I dig it.
But-
Yeah.
That's the time when your mind and your brain is in like a theta or alpha state, which is like a different frequency.
Yeah. It's when
And
your
that's-
subconscious is most impressionable.
Exactly.
Yeah. So first thing in the morning, I always do a mindset workout. First thing every morning.
Beautiful.
We talked about that on one of the other episodes. So what do you do in the morning? I know I keep interrupting you, but I want to dissect
love
this.
it. I
So
love
what's
it.
your morning ritual? Because
Same.
that's huge.
Same.
Okay.
I know a lot of people, and I'm diving into another problem with phone addiction now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
First thing some people do is they check their phone in the morning, and we want the thing about creating your life or designing life on your terms is impressing on your mind the things that you want in your life, things that you want to feel. And by checking your phone in the morning, you're reacting
Yeah.
to things. There's so much stimulus nowadays.
Yeah.
I do. It's weird. I miss the times when we didn't have smartphones.
Yeah.
I honestly do. It's like,
You're not the only one.
it's sad, man.
Yeah.
Like me and my wife were on vacation, and we're in a tropical, the Riviera Maya.
Yeah.
And this is just one example, and a couple is together, but they're both on their phones, man.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah.
It's
a lot
made
of
me
that.
sad, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of that, And then the other night we're eating out at a restaurant, and I look at a family together, and just the mom's just on the phone. And,
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's sad. Okay, but back to my morning ritual though. So I enjoy meditating, feeling practicing gratitude.
Yeah.
Always, we gotta appreciate the things in our life, the gift of life.
Yeah.
The things that we have in life, the people that are in our lives.
Yeah.
Feeling grateful for, our friends and family, the gym that I have now, the life that I can live,
Yeah.
and do what I enjoy and love, and having a healthy body that we can move around.
That's the biggest one.
Our senses.
Yeah.
The sun.
Yeah, exactly.
You know. Yeah.
I really, when I think about it, you want to talk about being weird? When I think about it, man, we have our priorities all fucked up. All fucked up.
Oh, yeah, man.
How often, so most people spend 8 to 9 hours in an office and 0 time outside on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Maybe they go out on the weekend.
Yeah.
I don't know who created this you need to work for 40 hours a week thing. I don't know who created you got to work till 65 before you can get. I don't understand why it's that way. I mean, obviously production things have to happen.
The
But
Industrial Revolution
but-
really did a lot of that.
But if you look at it now, it's like your life is what you've created. Most people's lives are byproducts of necessity. They need money to pay the bills. And your bills increase as you get older because you start making more money. You buy a nicer car, you buy a bigger house, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, the thing I'm learning is I am making 0 money right now. The least I've ever, I went from a 6-figure job to nothing.
Wow.
I am 10 times happier now than I've ever been in my entire life.
Wow. Good for you.
Money is not the answer to happiness. It's not. You have to find what makes you happy and you have to go do it. Progression towards that will make you happy. I firmly believe progression towards your dreams will make you happy, even if it sucks, even if it's a struggle along the way.
Yeah.
It's better to struggle at something you love than be good at something you hate.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No, absolutely,
It's a
man.
great quote.
I applaud you for that, man. Going from 6 figures.
Oh yeah, man. No,
to jump-
no
to
college
jump-
degree.
to jumping into this full time, man.
Yep.
That's huge, man, and that takes huge balls.
I want this,
that's-
man.
That's courage, man, and that's courage.
And you'll blow 6 figures out of the water one
For
day.
sure.
For sure.
For
Because
sure.
you love this.
yeah, absolutely, and it's modeling famous podcasters that make money doing it.
Yep.
Right.
Joe Rogan, my hero.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's
man.
his hero. Like the
Yeah.
fighter you mentioned that was your hero that you learned from on YouTube. That's Joe Rogan
Yep.
for him. For
I've
me,
watched-
it's Tony Robbins. He's a professional
Yeah.
speaker.
Man.
Knowing your heroes is huge. That's we talk about that all the time, so the listeners know that. But I really want to mention that as well. I wrote it down that you have a particular hero who was a Muay Thai fighter.
Yeah.
And then I always say that what we admire, we eventually will become if we follow our heart.
Yes.
So pay close attention to who and what you admire, because it's your heart telling you can do that too.
Wow.
You know, and I feel like that happened to you, and now you got to meet your hero, which is so cool.
Yeah, man.
And now you kind of are on that world champion type of level. And you guys, have you ever sparred with him?
Well, oh yeah, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Imagine if you could spar
Yeah.
with Joe Rogan.
His
one day.
spinning back kick is deadly. Deadly. But one day I hope to. I would love to have Joe Rogan in your seat in the near, like that's going to happen eventually.
Oh, yeah.
I will not stop until it does.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I know it will happen, but it hasn't always been that way for me. I haven't always had that mindset.
Yeah.
So that's new to me.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm happy, man. Life is good. Like we say, life is dope, and we do dope shit with dope people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's it, man.
That's a fact.
That's it.
More power to you, man.
I appreciate
Good
it,
for
man.
you.
I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What was it like to spar with your at one point hero? Because he's going to meet Joe Rogan. I'm going to meet Tony Robbins for sure. Like, we're setting those intentions early. What was that like?
Man, I was honestly starstruck.
Yeah.
When I first met him, starstruck, man. I couldn't believe it. And now he obviously beat the crap out of me.
Yeah.
'Cause he's on the top professional world level.
Yeah.
You know, like multiple-time world champion, the best of the best. He's
Yeah.
fought the best of the best. So I learned so much from him. And
Nice.
From the ass whooping he gave me, but also the advice that he gives me and
Yeah.
the encouragement he gives me before
Is he a mentor
fights
now?
too. He's one of them.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
One of
yeah.
them.
Absolutely. Yeah. Before my fights, you know, he'll send me a nice video or message. Hey, you know, wishing you all the best. God bless you. It's amazing. You know, like I couldn't have imagined that years ago.
Right?
Meeting someone randomly from across the world. You know, it's mind blowing.
So you have a direct message, you know, in your phone from like at one point was your hero saying like good luck.
Yeah, and
That's-
Facebook post. And
Oh, that's awesome, man.
That is
That
awesome.
is so cool.
Thank you.
We did an episode. This is completely switching topics because that's what I do. We did an episode on being soft. Like, has America gone soft? There's a lot going on. There's a lot of bullying. There's a lot of this, that, and the other thing. And when I say soft, I say that people can't handle criticism and they can't handle hard times, right? I mean, that's like a thing.
Yeah.
Like they need the safe space for that. Like, what does martial arts teach people? not even about defending yourself, because that's not what it is.
Yes.
You learn more about yourself. Can you go into that?
Absolutely, man. I'm glad you realize that.
For sure.
Or you understand that, you know. And martial arts teaches people, it's self-discovery. It's given me so much in my life. It's helped me to become who I am, develop courage, mental toughness, learn so much about myself. And going back to when you guys asked me, what made you decide to compete? Wanting to test myself. And because for me, I firmly believe that we are capable of so much more than we know. Our minds and bodies are capable of so much, yet our monkey brain puts limitations or puts these doubts, these fears, anxiety into us, causing us to hold back. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So martial arts, and I respect all type of martial arts. For me, you know, I love Muay Thai. I think it's the most badass thing, you know. Like for me, that's like the king of martial arts, and one of the reasons I got into it. But it's self-discovery, learning about yourself, and sharing that, or having the ability also to protect family and loved ones, and teaching them something, because I think self-defense is a skill that is a necessary life skill that everyone should learn. You know, kids from bullying, women, you know, from abuse or things like that.
For instance, when we were setting up, there was it looked like a father and son had come in, and they were getting the run of the land, seeing what was up. When, say, I'm a dad and I get a little girl and she's getting bullied, and I come to you and say, Julian, I don't know what to do. She doesn't have any self-esteem. They're picking on her. She just cowers up in the corner. I don't come here saying I want her to be able to knock these people out. That's not what it's about. I mean, if it comes to that, sure. But can you go into your mindset of helping somebody become more confident?
Yes.
Because that, honestly, you are a gym owner, you're an entrepreneur, you're a fighter, but you're also a mentor to a lot of people. Whether they know it or not, when they come here, you are the mentor of this place. So how do you kind of navigate that, bringing confidence into somebody's life?
Yeah, so with people getting bullied or kids getting bullied, my favorite thing is that they are learning a realistic martial art, Muay Thai, where they can defend themselves if it comes down to it. But the majority of the times, they may not need to, because when they begin training, when they gain that confidence here in the gym, from the encouragement, the self-esteem boost, it exudes a type of energy that will just, it's hard to explain. It exudes almost like an aura that will stop bullying.
Yeah.
A confidence, you know, so.
Do you think bullying is somewhat predicated on someone being less confident and maybe not in a state of power?
Yeah.
I'm sure you've heard of power versus force, right? I mean, you're big on that with martial arts, right? So if you're in a place
bullies
of...
are going after people that
they can bully.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're not going to go pick on somebody bigger than them or
someone
who's more confident.
Exactly.
Or can whoop their ass.
Yeah.
So, absolutely.
That's huge.
Well,
That's
we always
awesome.
say you get what you allow.
Yes.
And if you don't have, like, there's certain people that just aren't going to be able to bully me because I know that I could take them out.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? And
they probably know that too.
Yeah.
But if they didn't and they started bullying me and I went, no, listen, nope, get the fuck out of here. Not happening.
Yeah.
You're kind of giving them, whether they need to use it or not, you're giving them the confidence to say, look, get out of here, man. I'm not taking this from you anymore. Like, I'm sick of this. I'm sick of the way you're treating me. I don't deserve this. Get the fuck out of here. So I think I absolutely love, it's funny, man, because coming here, like, you don't think of any of these things. Like, I didn't think of any of these things. Like, I didn't have anything written down before we started. I didn't think of any of these things until we started. And it's like, when we're in your place, everything makes sense. Everything just makes more sense.
Awesome.
Speaking of strange.
Yeah. Kevin's loving this.
I'm loving this. Yeah, man. This is honestly like kind of a dream come true for me.
Yeah.
In a way that, like, I've always really looked up to people that fight. Sean Thornton, played for the Bruins. He was the enforcer.
Yeah.
If somebody took a dirty hit, Sean Thornton didn't care how big you were. He was going to go over there and fight you. And I've always appreciated. I'm kind of the same way.
Yeah.
I'm kind of the same way. I've always really appreciated people that are just tough and just have that mindset of like, I don't know, man. I
Not
just
gonna be
really
pushed around.
Yeah, I really appreciate the combat mindset, and I've never really gotten to dig into the mind of somebody as skilled or as talented or as recognized in their sport as you. So that I really appreciate the opportunity, man. I'm so pumped right now. Obviously, I'm sure you can tell.
I love it.
No, thank you.
I'm a little like starstruck in a way. So
I can feel it over there. I love it.
I'm
It's
loving
very
this,
cool.
man. I'm loving this.
He's like a kid in a candy
Right?
store right now.
Right? I'm walking
This
around
is
the
good.
ring like,
Yeah,
"Ooh, look at me."
Thank you so much, man.
Thank you, man.
I really appreciate the kind words, and it really is. I was taught that it is 80% mental in anything, in any endeavor, and I'm sure you know from your sport and competing
For
as well.
sure.
It is 80% mental.
80% psychology, 20% mechanics.
Absolutely.
Yep. So
Tony
psychology, yeah, it's everything.
You haven't met Tony Robbins yet?
Oh no, not yet, not yet.
Have you ever been to one of his?
Yeah, and he came to Boston.
Yeah.
A year and a half ago. I was at that
Patriots.
event. Yes, exactly. Were you there?
I was, and I wanted to.
You wanted to?
I missed it, but I've been to his Unleash the Power.
You have?
Event. I have.
Very cool. How was that? Next level?
Life changing, man. Next
Nice.
level. Next level. We gotta go
Nice.
to these events one time.
For sure,
We
man.
should.
I want to go to a Date with Destiny with him.
I do too.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
actually was thinking about that not long ago.
Dude.
I sent him a video from Date with Destiny
Go.
from the Netflix documentary
Yeah.
Sunday. And I had a rough day Sunday. It was Father's Day. My father passed away when I was 2, and that's always a hard day. My girlfriend lost her father a year ago. So we connected, and we were crying and all that. And it was just a weird day, right? And so I was looking to my hero, Tony, and I was like, I got to go to Date with Destiny at some point.
Yeah.
Because I feel like getting my beliefs, values, and goals and dreams in alignment are going to really get rid of some of this negative energy I've been struggling with.
Yeah.
Because I've aligned myself pretty well, I think. I feel very congruent, but sometimes I feel out of congruency a little, you know, in terms of certain people I'll hang out with or certain things that I'll do that are no longer like adding value to who I really am type of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got to go to Date with Destiny at some point. I'm glad you mentioned that. It's weird that you mentioned that because I just thought of that like not long ago.
Thoughts or things?
Yeah. Crazy. Super crazy. So
He's one of my heroes too.
He
He's
is.
one of the best human beings in the world, and we need more people like him.
I couldn't agree more, man.
For sure.
Just he resonates with me so strongly.
Yes,
Yeah.
me too, man.
Good, man. Good.
Very cool. Very cool. That's
Good.
why I love when I see you post things about him or
Yeah.
Jim Rohn. and
Oh yeah, you know
all that
Jim
good stuff.
Rohn?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, good.
Do you have like a vision board, stuff like that?
Oh yeah.
Nice.
See?
Absolutely.
That like every time, man.
Yeah.
Every time we ask people that, they're like, "Oh yeah, for sure, of course." Doesn't everybody?
Yeah.
Doesn't
exactly.
everybody have it?
Yeah, not everybody.
No, I didn't. A year ago or 2 years ago, I didn't. You know?
Yeah. It's just. It's
How long have you had a vision board?
Oh man. I can't even remember. For a long time.
When did you go to Unleash the Power Within? I know I'm just hammering questions at you.
No. This was back in 2012 in New York.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay,
Did the whole
cool.
Firewalk and everything.
You did. You walked on fire with
Me
that
and my
level of
wife.
certainty. Nice,
Yeah.
man. All right.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's amazing, man. 4 days. Life changing.
Yeah?
Life changing. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. He-
Got to do it.
What's it like to?
He helped. Like a lot of the things that happen help you when you start to feel doubt, because it's not always like this as people see outside on social media.
Yeah.
And when I do this, I'm saying like to the top of the mountain. There are moments like this here.
Oh, for sure.
And there are things that help you reaffirm your beliefs. And that was one of them, you know.
That event.
That event, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
How powerful is it? So, I just recently went through a relationship issue. How important is it to you, or what is it like? What are the benefits of having somebody who's kind of in the same space as you? Your wife trains,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
She clearly supports you 100%,
Yeah.
and I'm sure you give her the same support.
Yeah.
Can you talk on how important is a successful relationship when it comes to having the life of your dreams, especially if you value a successful relationship? What is it like to have somebody who goes above and beyond to help you out?
Yeah, man. It's everything.
For those who can't see, he is smiling ear to ear.
Yeah. Everything.
It's
Writing that down.
It honestly is everything, man, because she believes in me so much more than I believe in myself. And sharing that commitment with somebody who we both help each other to encourage and become better people.
Yeah.
Just only helps magnify everything in life, because sharing the successes, the victories, the happy times, the celebrations, it magnifies it and makes it, it makes it so much more joyous.
Yeah, and fulfilling, yeah.
And fulfilling, yeah. So it's a wonderful thing, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to.
Oh, no.
I know you said you went through a relationship thing, and I don't want you to feel like I'm rubbing it in your.
No,
face
not
or
at all.
anything,
Not
so
at all.
My apologies.
No, not
but-
at all. Honestly, I genuinely want you to be the happiest that you can possibly be. It has nothing to do with me.
Thank you, and
For sure, man.
And I want you to be happy as well.
appreciate
and
that.
Like you said, things happen for a reason, and there is importance in solitude, being by yourself and learning what you want, or having that time to really chase your goals and gun it. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, so that's really good for you. I mean, everything happens for a reason, Kevin.
As long as you take that action, right?
Yeah,
As long as you take that action. We're taking action right now.
Absolutely,
And we won't stop.
Yeah, and you guys really brought me out of my comfort zone.
Today
'Cause I
with
was
this?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I was telling Alan before, I really internalize everything. I really keep to myself.
Yeah.
Which is why that relationship with my wife is so important, because we share everything with each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
we know everything about each other, so it's good to have someone to share those feelings with. And
Yeah, man.
yeah, and just kind of give you that push or
Yeah.
that shove, and also not just with my wife, but also, like my coaches, my family, my community, my members, our members here, it's having that type of belief and support helps raise you up and raise all of us up together.
I love it.
Yeah, for sure.
So I have an interesting question.
Yes.
You obviously cultivate a very strong, positive culture
Yes.
in this gym and beyond.
Yeah.
Have you ever had someone who did not fit and that you needed to kind of say, listen, this isn't the place for you?
Yeah.
And how did you handle that?
Unfortunately, man. Yeah, because negativity is like a virus, man.
Yeah, spreads.
It spreads. And you get one, you could have 50 positive people in a room, and you get one person that's negative, that'll just turn the place, just put out a really bad vibe. So the way we handle it, or the way I had to handle it, is you got to be straightforward with people.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm sorry, this place is not the right fit for you.
Yeah.
Your membership is terminated. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for
That's it.
trying.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. We give out warnings. Hey, you can't be doing this, or you can't be talking shit to somebody. You can't be trying to hurt anybody.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no egos here.
No egos here. Interesting.
Leave the egos out at the door.
Yeah.
And I'm like I said, I'm a firm believer in like attracts like.
Yeah.
We love when we have our members here refer their friends, because they're more like them.
Yeah, exactly.
Your
Yeah.
friends are, I'm sure, are like you.
Yeah.
Like you guys.
Yeah.
More of you guys. So, yeah. So we
Good
just gotta
stuff.
be straightforward, direct.
And you're willing to have that conversation. You did it personally?
yeah.
Yeah. It's tough, right?
Well, for sometimes, yes, and also, for legality and things,
Yeah.
you may want to keep a trail or paper. You may have to write something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a quote that I always talk about. It's your level of success and happiness will directly correlate to the number of difficult conversations you're willing to have. I think that's one example of needing to have courage to say, listen, like, this isn't for you,
Yeah.
Super important. That was a Tim Ferriss quote, by the way. I'm sure you've.
I love Tim
Yeah,
Ferriss.
of course you do. I can. Yeah, I see you. You're big into personal development. I see.
I am.
Yeah, you love it.
Yeah.
Good.
Thank
I'm
you.
glad you can express yourself so openly with your wife.
Thank you.
That's awesome, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and no, I'm sorry. And you guys, it's awesome. I'm happy to be here. You guys took me out of my comfort zone because, like I was mentioning before, I really internalize everything. You know, I don't often express myself as much as I probably feel I should. You know what I mean?
Well, you do through your craft.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
I don't
that's
have
that's
to
your
speak.
exactly. That's very clearly your more comfortable medium.
That's how I enjoy to express myself.
As a speaker, you know, I can tell that this is outside your comfort zone, but in the best way.
Yeah,
In the
yeah.
best way. You're
Thank
doing a
you.
great job, man.
Oh yeah, you're killing it.
Absolutely.
You're killing
Yeah.
it.
Thank you, man.
Absolutely.
Thank you. And I respect what you guys do because it's tough putting yourself out there, man.
For sure.
It's tough. And back to what you're saying about is America getting soft and with criticism, with anything, if you want to get better, you got to be open to criticism.
Yeah.
You know,
Constructive criticism,
Constructive criticism,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Not just by outside anybody.
Yeah.
But by the people that you care about.
Yeah.
Your mentors.
Yes.
Yeah, your coaches.
How do you walk that line? Like, so say you had a good friend who didn't know anything about this. They just loved you.
Yeah.
And so my grandmother, she died a few years back, but when I told her I wanted to fight, I used to want to fight MMA. That was my thing. I was going to fight in the UFC. I tore my shoulder out, and I was like, well, this is not going to work.
Yeah.
So, and honestly, if that happened to me now, I don't think I would change my mind. I would just get surgery and go back because I'm a different person. I'm a different mentality now.
Yeah.
But she said, you can't do that. You can't do that. You're going to get hurt. You're going to get this. You're going to get that. I know why she said that. She was afraid for me, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But how do you walk the fine line between taking advice from your mentors and people ahead of you and people who just don't know what this means to you? They don't know how big of a dream this is.
Yeah.
They see the fact that you might not make it. You see the fact that you're going to.
yeah.
So how do you pick what advice to take, what not to listen to?
Yeah, man, I've been through that. You know, you'll have people tell you, you know, don't do this, don't do that. You're gonna get hurt. But man, you gotta listen to your heart, man. You gotta follow your heart. Do what makes you happy, and try it. If it doesn't work out, hey, you go back and you say, at least I gave it a shot. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Kevin, man, it's never too late for you, man.
I know. Dude, I'm scheming in my head right now how to get here tomorrow. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding.
See what I mean? It's never too late, man.
Yeah.
For sure. For sure. Follow your dreams. Follow your heart. We only have one life to live. And like I said, regret. You don't want to live with the pain of regret.
Yeah.
You don't want to look back and say, oh, man, I could have did this. I could have did that. Go for it, man. Just shoot for it.
Yeah. Worst case scenario, you won't have what if. You'll know because you
Yes,
tried.
Exactly.
You kept trying.
Yes.
And it's awesome, man.
Yeah, and I love that. That's my biggest
Yeah.
thing. That one of my biggest messages that I would like to share with everybody. You know. Yeah.
I
Just
love that.
not to
man.
live with regret and to give it a shot.
Yeah. Go for it, man. Follow your heart.
Go for
Follow
it.
your dreams. Yeah.
No matter what the naysayers say.
Yes. Yeah. So that's. Yeah. So, respectfully, that was one of the reasons why I really kept to myself too. I didn't put all my dreams and goals out there just because you will get people that don't understand what you're doing
Or
what
why
the
you're
dream
doing it.
is.
Yeah.
Because it sounds crazy to people. You know, they may think they know nothing about it, you know, but they may think, you know, like they don't see the vision or the dream or the feeling that we get. They don't feel that, you know. So
Yeah.
it's easy for them to say. It's easy to talk. Action,
Yeah.
that's the key.
I love it.
I want to tell the listeners too, when I said that I got fourth, you were so excited for me.
Yeah,
You
man.
were like, congratulations, man. Like, that's awesome. Like,
Yeah.
you could tell that I maybe was a little less than thrilled about it, but you immediately were like, great work for trying. Like, do better next time.
Yeah,
like,
man,
I love that. I love that about you, man. It was very
proud of you.
cool.
I'm
Yeah.
proud of you, man.
Thank
I'm proud
you.
of you. I see videos. I know how hard you work.
Thank you.
I know how hard you work. So
All right.
I know losing sucks, man.
Yeah.
Losing sucks, and it's strange. You don't want to get comfortable with it.
Yeah.
You don't want to be satisfied with it, but you want to learn from it.
Yeah.
And that's what I was telling you, you know, keep going for it. Keep competing.
Oh, yeah.
The best bodybuilders in the world have all lost.
Oh, yeah. Everybody.
Right?
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yep.
And it weeds people out fast. Losses weed people out.
That's a good point. Yeah.
You either give up or you say, okay, what can it motivates you.
Oh, yeah.
Which is what it's done for me, you know.
For
So
sure.
I'm glad it's motivated. I hope it's motivated.
It has very much.
Good,
I was
man.
telling you in the preamble, just so everyone knows, we were talking about it. I said, and we've talked about this on the last episode, when I knew after being on stage that I had put all that work in and that I didn't get the result that I hoped for, which was first, already backstage, I was working with a coach, opposing coach. Yeah. I was talking on the vlog about what I need to do differently next time, what I did wrong. And I said, they didn't even post the score yet. Wow. And even just the idea of me losing made me better. Wow. I really want people to hear that. Even the idea of me losing made me contemplate what I could do better. But, like we talked about in the preamble, if that made me disencouraged rather than more encouraged, because I could very easily have said, oh, this isn't my sport. Yes. But that's not what I did. I said, oh, I'm going to retool and come back better. You know, and I think that's super important. Because when you tore your shoulder in MMA, for example, it's like you could have came back better. Like, okay, what made that happen? How can I make sure that I'm more flexible next time or whatever it is? When we talk about when you succeed, you've heard this probably because you're a Tony Robbins fan. When you succeed, you celebrate. When you fail, you contemplate.
Yes, you ponder.
Ponder. Yeah. So how many fights have you done if you were to guess?
I have about 30 fights under me.
30 fights. I love how he didn't have to guess. He knew the number. Critical number. Key. How many of those would you say were losses?
I have about, I think, 6 or 7 losses.
Okay. Would you say that you learned more from those than the successes?
Oh, man. I learned from both, don't get me wrong.
Yes.
But absolutely.
Yeah.
I've learned so much from my losses.
But they sucked.
They sucked. They sucked, but at the same time, they lit a fire.
Yeah.
You know, they light a fire.
They do. Yeah. They really do.
Yeah.
So,
go ahead.
We were talking. So I was doing a little bit of research, as I do before I sit down and talk with people, try to maybe know a little bit about them.
Yeah.
So you went and fought at Foxwoods, and you ended up losing that fight, and then you ended up winning. You won your titles after that loss, right?
Man, yeah.
So can you tell that story?
Yeah. So I was
bathroom real quick.
Yeah. I was coming back from the U.S. Open when I had taken a loss already in the finals of the tournament. So I was a runner-up, second place, and then I had another fight scheduled a few months down, in which I hurt my lower back, but decided to, how do I say, man up and fight anyway, because at the time Muay Thai is still a growing sport, Kevin. So it's not as popular as MMA at all. And I'm sure you know that. But it's the top striking art, and this was the way for me to gain experience. You got to put yourself out there and compete. So I said, okay, I'm gonna man up and do it and just compete. And ended up losing the fight, learning a lot from it. Also, doubting myself, afterwards, after back-to-back losses, it's tough. It's tough, because I train so hard, and that feeling when you pour your heart, your mind, your body, your soul into it, and then coming up short, it's tough. But I picked myself up, train hard. I was already scheduled to that same year. Earlier in the year, I had won the nationals, which qualified me for Team USA. So I was already scheduled for the Worlds, November? So it was a few months after that loss at Foxwoods. So I was already scheduled. So I picked myself back up, started training harder, making the adjustments that I needed to, and ended up winning 2 amateur world titles for Team USA out in Spain. So that was...
You've been all over the world.
Thank you, man. And that moment, was one of my happiest memories. It just really just reaffirming the belief and the faith, the dream.
What do you think about? So when you're standing in the corner of the ring, your opponent's across. What are you thinking? Like, are you thinking, I don't want to get hurt? Are you thinking, I'm gonna work the jab? I'm gonna do whatever. What is your thought process? What is your... Are you thinking about your wife? Are you thinking about the crowd? Like, what are you thinking about when in that moment of adrenaline, like you're about to fight somebody? What are you thinking?
I'm super laser focused. So you get what you focus on. So no, I'm not thinking, don't get hurt, this, that. I go out there, I'm thinking, just have fun, breathe, do what you do every day. Another day in the office. Do your best. Go do your best.
I love that.
That's it, man. Yeah, yeah.
I love that.
Go do your best. Have fun. Have fun. This is my coach, my Muay Thai coach, has been key in helping me with that as well. Before my most recent fight, he turned to me and looked at me and said, "Know who you are. Go out there, do what you love, do what you do. This is your dream. Go for it, man." And I love him for that. So
it's awesome.
He really helped me to believe in myself as well. So it's incredible when you really go for it, the support system, because it's not just my success. You know what I mean? It's our success. Like me, my wife, my family, my coaches, my teammates, my community.
Yeah.
We helped each other. Without my teammates, my coach, I couldn't have done it myself. Without the support of my community. At that time, I'm what you call a starving amateur fighter. You're not getting paid to fight. So my friends and family, my community really helped me in my GoFundMe campaign to help with my airfare out to Spain, medicals, and all that good stuff. So I'm forever grateful and appreciative of that, man.
And you can tell, for sure.
Thank
That's
you.
awesome, man. That's so
Thank
awesome.
you. I think about it every day, as part of my morning routine, or gratitude. People don't know, but I think I'm super grateful for just everything.
Yeah, you seem that way.
Yeah,
you seem super grateful, man.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, I want the listeners too to take away, like, you do gratitude. It's not just like, oh, I'm grateful. It's you have a practice every morning.
Yes.
You have a ritual.
Yeah.
Like, that's so important. I think gratitude is a verb.
Yeah.
It's you show it by giving and by thinking purposefully and intentionally of the things you are grateful for. And that's hard to keep consistent on, but I think it's super important.
Yeah.
For me, I have my what I call a gratitude chain. So whenever I touch this or adjust it, I stop whatever I'm doing and I think of 3 things I'm most grateful for. Number 1 is almost always my health and sweet bod. No, it's just my health, like, honestly. And then typically my girlfriend or my friends, like Kevin and stuff like that. So it's huge. It's huge. I love how grateful you are, man.
Good for you, man. Absolutely. Thank you.
Absolutely. When you say that you're a team player,
yes,
and it's not just you, it's not me, it's we, it's this gym, the community, your wife, your family, your friends, and without all of them, there's no chance you'd be able to do what you do.
Yes.
That's huge, and that's the gratitude piece. On the other end of that coin, in the preamble, we talked about when you fail or when you lose, it feels like you let everyone down. I recently felt that way for sure. I told everyone I'm going to go do this. They all supported me in that, and they had to make sacrifices to help me, I felt like I let everybody down. How did you get through that? And what's that like for you?
Man, that's a great question, and it's a tough feeling, It's the great part about it is that your friends and family, from the most part, don't feel the same way that we do.
Oh, they do. Yeah, they definitely don't. That's what they say too to me. They're like, no, we don't care at all that you got for that. We're just glad you did it.
Absolutely.
Even though I feel like I let everyone down.
Yeah. Because for me, I'm selling hundreds of tickets. We're selling tickets. Everyone's coming to see you.
I know they travel for you.
Yeah,
man, it's a whole thing.
I'm so grateful for it. But then at the same time, it's like, oh man,
they're counting on me to produce.
Yeah. So
it's a lot of weight on your shoulders.
Yes.
Especially when you're behind that damn curtain and you're like, oh, my tan is sweating. I'm freaking out. I forgot to pose. I didn't practice posing enough. That was one of the things to critique.
Yeah.
But
so
for
it's picking yourself up.
Yeah.
Alan. It's picking yourself up and not having a pity party for yourself.
Oh yeah.
Not saying that you did.
I did for a little, like a day.
Yeah.
Like a half a day.
And that's okay.
Yeah. It
That's
was tough.
Okay.
It's a rough morning.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
But I did. I got right back up.
Yeah,
I'm back after it already, man.
That's it. It's
Yeah.
picking yourself back up, not having a pity party.
Yeah.
And just learning from it. All right. And then moving forward, man.
Yeah.
Moving forward.
Better than you went in.
Yes.
That's the key.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I'm already just my mentality. I feel like I'm a better person for having lost. Honestly, it's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird to say that. I want the listeners to know, like,
Get the experience.
Get the experience. Like I was still on stage. Like I still did it. I still put in all that work. I still developed all those positive habits. I still like all that self-discipline still follows me. Yeah. Just because I didn't get the damn trophy, who cares?
And it's not final until you stop doing it.
Yeah.
Like if this was your last competition ever and you were like, this is my last one, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm done. Yeah. Okay, you had 4th place.
Yeah.
If you do one in a year and you won,
yeah.
Now you're a pro. Like it's only final when you stop.
Exactly. Which is not happening.
No.
There is no quitting me. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you learned so much from your workout camp.
Oh, for sure.
Your weight cutting phase.
Yep.
All that good stuff.
I learned all the things I did wrong. Yeah. For sure. I learned all the stuff I did wrong. Or all the things I could do better, I'll say. Because I did a lot right, but I did a lot less than ideal. And I learned from all of that, so. It's huge. Is it that way with fighting too? Whenever you're like, oh, okay. So it's crazy for you though, because your opponent is always different.
Yeah.
So like, when you're in the ring, Kevin's saying, okay, you're looking at the other opponent and you're focused on go out there and do what I do best. Like before stage, just to relate to you here, like so much was different this time. It just felt like there was so many variables. My tan was coming off. The competition was way better than the previous show. The judges were way different, and what they were looking for was clearly different. And it just felt like so many variables all at once. And I know you've been there, where it's like, oh wow, I prepared and I prepared and I prepared, but this is way more than I ever prepared for. What do and you have to adjust on the fly. Have you ever felt just completely overwhelmed by that, and like you lost a fight where you basically got someone had a technique that you've never seen before or something?
Or like a strategy. Absolutely. And that just goes all apart to adjusting and learning from that experience and moving forward and being able to just, in your case, be in that environment again.
Yeah.
Or just being more prepared.
More prepared, yeah.
Now you have that mental experience and can expect or know what to expect. For me, it's being prepared in all aspects of the fight game and being able to adjust to my opponent and making the necessary shifts in strategy that I need to. That's it.
Do you, so we always say like, most Saturdays we have a podcast, right? Every Saturday usually we have a podcast. We say that's like our Super Bowl. Like every Saturday is the Super Bowl, right? But for you, like you're in your sparring, and do you like know your opponent before? Like do you watch tape on them? You watch what they do? Or
some fighters do. I don't.
Okay.
I don't. I let my coach handle all of that.
Okay. So when you're in here sparring, that's kind of like you kind of get to check in with your skills almost every day. Like, do you take away? Like, say on Monday there was this a technique that your coach was throwing that you just weren't ready for.
Yeah.
When you come in Tuesday, you're like, okay, yesterday that was the thing. I'm going to make sure I watch that today, and then you're going to learn something on Tuesday that you got to use on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So I think that put as much time as you can into your craft, right? It's because you're going to learn more.
Absolutely, yeah, man. Exactly. I couldn't have explained it better. It's like a toolbox. You keep putting tools in it, work on your craft, build up from there.
For us, it's podcasting. So we do a podcast, and then each time we do something less than ideal, and then we adjust as we move forward. We call it failing forward. Yeah. That's how you master your craft. For you, like, what is your report card? For us, it's listening to this episode afterwards and going, oh, and then tweaking our approach. Yeah. Did I mess up the sound? Okay, so that would be a perfect example of failing forward. One time I knocked this out. Didn't even mean to do that, and it ruined the audio, so now we know not to do that and check when I do that.
Right.
But for you, your report card is every time you spar, or is it every time you're in here? Or because with me, with shows, one of the problems is I only do them once a year. Yeah. So I feel like I don't have as many report cards along the way to really master it as well as I probably should. Yeah. And I'm trying to figure out what those report cards would be other than just like progress pictures, Yeah.
So there's many different report cards, as you would call them. And obviously the competitions in itself are your main report card.
That's your Super Bowl.
Yeah, exactly. Like whether you're doing the right things to win, or even just making the necessary adjustments or having the proper skills to handle whatever's coming your way. But also, that's where the importance of your coaches come in. That type of feedback. That type of feedback is your report card.
That's what I did wrong.
Somebody or even somebody that you model or aspire to be like. learning from their mistakes or learning from or learning their regimen or what they do that you could have done better.
Yeah.
Like for me, you know what I mean? Yeah.
It's funny he just said that. What did I do this time? I didn't have opposing coach, and I coached myself.
Really?
That's the problem. That was the mistake I made. I still put in tons of work, but I didn't have the outside perspective to help me get the feedback.
Well, you did.
Oh yeah.
You just didn't listen to it.
Yeah, so I
told you.
I had the feedback from Kevin, Matt, Jenny, Nate. But
care.
I wasn't proactively seeking it because they weren't my coach. And that's the thing. Like, I tell Kevin this, like, if I had gotten feedback along the way proactively with a coach, then I wouldn't have gotten all that negative feedback on stage potentially. I would have gotten the micro failures along the way for the macro success. Yeah. That's huge that you just mentioned that, because that's literally the mistake. If I were to say one thing I'd do differently next time, we already talked about this. Yep. I'm going to have a kick-ass coach
for everything.
For everything.
Yep.
For everything. Posing, show day, peak week, and dieting. Potentially four different coaches, probably two different coaches.
Well, look
at least two.
In your space, look at a guy like TJ Dillashaw. He's more MMA based, but he has coaches for everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Literally.
Why wouldn't you?
The most successful people have a lot of coaches.
Right.
Yeah, it's that's funny. Yeah. How many coaches do you have? Is it just one?
No, man.
But
like you, coaches for everything.
Oh, wait, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How many coaches do you
Strength
have?
and conditioning. Well, my Muay Thai coach obviously is my head coach.
Yeah.
And then your strength and conditioning coach, nutrition coach. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You have 3 coaches.
Yeah.
All year round?
My Muay Thai coach and strength and conditioning coach, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Nutrition I normally do around like fight camp. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
Like you guys, I have a good general knowledge, but it's always nice to have. It's that outside perspective.
It's critical, especially when you're focused, man. Like all I saw was the hoop. Like basketball, I always use that reference. Like my court awareness kind of went down, and all I could see was the hoop because I wanted to win. Yeah. And that tunnel vision, I think, is important as a fighter or as a competitor. But that's why you need coaches. Yeah. Because we always say it's hard to see the whole picture when you're in the frame. Yeah. So you have 3 coaches. That's awesome. I want all the listeners to realize that too. The more successful people we meet on this podcast, they all have coaches.
Yeah. And I feel like you just learned something big right there.
I definitely did. It really. Yeah.
If it didn't set in yet, it just did.
It definitely just did.
Right?
Yeah.
He's like, oh shit.
Yeah. That was
shit.
it. Out of all the things,
Julian, what do you want to accomplish before you die? That's my favorite question to ask people, and I'm very curious to hear what you say because I have a feeling it's going to be deep.
Yeah.
But so 90 years, 100 years on this planet, if you were to go in 5 years, if you're on your deathbed, what would you be happy to say, like, this is what I got done and I'm ready to go. I'm proud of that. I hope you don't go in 5 years because I like you. But, if that was to happen, what would you have to accomplish for you to really, truly be proud?
Oh, man, that's deep. Huh?
Oh, yeah.
That's the question. That's his favorite one. Ready to go hyper-conscious?
The question, let me see. The thing that I would want to most achieve, can it be more than one?
It can be whatever you want. This is your life, my man.
Yeah. I want to be able to give the greatest life I can to my family, my friends, my community, and the world. That's my biggest thing. I want to be able to just give them the best life that they could possibly have. I don't want anyone to be in pain or worry or fear or anything. Yeah.
I love that.
Thank you.
I think you're well on your way, my man.
Thank you,
yeah, for sure.
Thank you. And then that comes into, inspiration. Obviously I want to, competing at a professional level, I want to reach the top and become world champion at the professional level, help inspire people that were like me, growing up, scrawny kid, no athletic ability, no sports whatsoever, and just really teaching people or helping people understand that, you can become anything you want, you can do whatever you want in life, and that, it's, don't let your mind limit you. Don't put any limitations on yourself. Like inspiration. That's a big one. That's a big one. I want to inspire people to to know that they have it in themselves, that they can do it. Yeah.
By leading by example?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're definitely doing that.
The same way that, thank you.
Yeah.
The same way that, you know, my heroes have helped inspire me, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. You already are that for people, I'm
Right.
sure. And you're on, yeah, that's huge. It's
Thank you,
huge.
man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
It touches me when I get messages like that sometimes from people I've never met or people at shows.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, it's unreal to me, you know, like when people asking for my photos or kids, you know, parents telling me, oh, my kid looks up to you.
Yeah.
You know, they want to be just like you. And, you know, it's amazing, man. It's awesome. And I just want to do good by the world.
You know what's funny?
Help empower people.
That's your life. Like the fact that kids want your pictures and people want to be just like you. That is your life. You've created this.
Thank you.
You've created this thing that you once wanted so badly.
Yeah.
It's now your life.
Yeah.
You wake up as this person every day now,
Yeah,
and you
thank
didn't always.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I think people need to understand. Like you're the same person you were when you were a child, but you've done so many things to get where you are now. And if you can do it, somebody else can do it. If Alan can do it, somebody else can do it. If I can do it, somebody else can do it.
For sure.
You know, and I think
Yeah.
that's super. I appreciate you sharing all of that from a scrawny kid with no
Yeah.
athletic ability to a world champion.
That's what jumped off the page for me is when you said a scrawny kid with no athletic ability and then to a world champion. Like that for our listeners, like at one point you probably didn't believe in yourself, you know, or as much as you do now, and you didn't think you had athletic ability, and that's huge. So this leads to the question I like to ask. It was perfect segue.
Yeah.
Is I believe there's a part of us that never changed, and I think that's the truest part of us. So when you were that scrawny kid versus now, what part of you has never changed?
Wow. That's deep, too.
Yeah.
I told you
Two
this was
deep
gonna
ones
happen.
right off the
Oh,
right.
man.
Yeah.
What part of me has never changed? For example, I mean, could you give an example? Like,
Yeah, totally.
How do you feel about that?
One example would be like undying belief in yourself. Like if you always had a lot of self-belief, self-confidence, that would be one example of something that's never changed.
Okay.
Like something about yourself that never changed. It's always been kind of there, like a knowing, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Positive or negative or just...
Whatever you think, whatever you feel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it could be negative, potentially. But it sounds kind of like you already touched on. It's a tough question.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
super tough question, but because it gets you thinking.
Yeah.
But same with the question he asked, it usually goes hand in hand with your answer of like wanting to inspire people, empower people.
Yeah.
It's probably something along those lines.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So, thank you.
Oh, of
Clearing
course.
that up. Yeah, no. One of the beliefs I've always carried with me is that I've always been guided. You know, that's
Perfect.
yeah. I've always been guided. For me, it's miraculous the way things come together, the way that they do, the people that you meet, the environment that you're in. So yeah.
Okay.
That's,
That I've always been guided.
yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect answer.
I love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love it. So we're wrapping up here. I want you to plug away. Where can people find you on social media? How can they get to this gym so they can train? All of that, all the social media stuff, all the business stuff. I want you to get out and let people know how to find you.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Of course.
Thank you. You can find us. We're at 121 Water Street here in Worcester. It's Team Link Muay Thai. And you can find us on social media, on Facebook, Instagram, under Team Link Muay Thai Worcester. And, you know, we're always here. You can reach us. Our email's info@worcester-kickboxing.com. And our number is 774-413-0388.
And I would not promote it if I didn't believe in it. I have trained here. This place is next level. Great people. More than anything, you guys are just super welcoming, super comfortable, no pressure, no stress, no drama.
Yeah.
So if you're scared to train, like I am, this is the place for you because they will definitely take care of you.
Yeah.
So
Thank you. And
Absolutely.
I'm happy you said that. Thank
For
you.
sure, man.
And I'm happy you've got to experience it.
I
because
am too, man.
This is that type of experience that I want everyone to have. You know, just a nice family environment. You know what I mean? It sets us apart from other gyms that I've been to as well and trained at.
Yeah.
So, Yeah.
Super welcoming. You mentioned in this podcast, real quick, the last thing here is actions speak louder than words.
Yes.
And I just want our listeners to know, a testament to what Kevin just said about this gym and this environment. Like, I left one of my canteens here 6 months ago now, or 4 months ago now, however long it was, and you kept it safe for me. It was my Greg Plitt canteen, my water. And you went and grabbed it for me. And as everyone knows, Greg Plitt is one of my heroes. And that's just a testament. You clearly care enough to hold that for me. And that's the testament to this gym and to who you are, man.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you, man. And
thank you.
Kevin Allen, thank you so much for having me, man. I'm grateful to have you guys here.
Absolutely.
And
Honestly, man, I'm so glad you were able to fear chase with us. If this is
Yeah.
a fear of yours, and getting out of that comfort zone, I'm so happy that you would do it with us, and I think it was awesome. I think you did a great fucking job,
work.
man.
Great work.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was an honor.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gents, we're going to sign off. Maybe Julian will kick me a couple times, and maybe he'll kick Alan on the head. I hope that happens. But we hope you enjoyed this episode. I know this was got to be my favorite episode thus far.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add before we go, Alan?
I'm good. Thanks for listening, everybody. So much value here, dissecting amazing people for what made them so amazing. It's everything.
And on that note,
Yeah, keep doing what you guys are doing, man. Yeah.
we appreciate you.
The world needs this message. It needs to hear you guys and what you have in your hearts and your mind.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, we're glad to for you to be part of the journey with us, my man.
Yeah, you're an ally. It's good to have an ally in you.
Ladies and gents,
we're not
we are
gonna stop.
signing off.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Ladies and gents, we hope you enjoyed that episode featuring Julian Nguyen. He's a next-level martial artist, but more than that, he has a next-level mindset, and he sat down and shared that with us, so we are super grateful for that.
Thank you again, Julian, for showing Kevin and I some fighting techniques. Always cool to learn from a world champion. There is always so much more than meets the eye with these things. As for our next rep,
We have Matt Purcell. Matt Purcell is from Australia. He is the author of Life Hacks for Mindful Living. He is a life coach, a musician, and he added so much value on this episode.
yeah, he's a speaker as well. Absolute Renaissance man. Learned so much from him, and you will definitely enjoy this one.
100%. Bye.